Top-tier global retail brands often enter complex APAC markets expecting to achieve immediate scale. Instead, they end up bleeding capital. The error traces back to the global playbook. Executives assume product-market fit transfers across borders, while simultaneously minimizing initial marketing budgets to satisfy strict year-one profit targets. The immediate symptom of this rigidity appears in the warehouse. An influx of standardized, unsellable inventory piles up, rapidly collapsing local profit margins. Compounding this problem is the reflex to treat marketing strictly as a variable cost. Slashing this budget chokes off top-of-funnel acquisition precisely when a new brand needs it most. When an organization refuses to mathematically adapt to local realities, market entry ceases to be an expansion strategy. It becomes a structural capital hemorrhage. This blueprint outlines the foundational retail profit equation. Profit equals contribution margin minus fixed cost. Operational leaders do not control top-line outcomes directly. They control granular subvariables. Contribution margin breaks down further into revenue minus variable costs. Surviving the transition into an emerging market requires engineering an integrated consumer retail tech platform around these exact variables. Every technological deployment, whether it is a new CRM or an AI implementation, lacks utility unless it acts as a direct lever to optimize one of these specific financial parameters. This diagram isolates the first critical subvariable, revenue minus cost of goods sold, which dictates your gross margin. When a rigid global playbook pushes standardized inventory into a local market, you accumulate dead stock, and those unsold assets physically crush the gross margin value. This accumulation is a direct consequence of legacy multi-channel operations. When physical stores and digital shops run on separate databases, operations teams suffer from severe inventory blind spots. The financial impact is immediate. You encounter out-of-stock errors online while dead stock piles up in your physical warehouses. The necessary operational pivot is the test and learn model. Retailers must iterate their assortment continuously to match localized purchasing power. However, you cannot iterate assortment without a unified inventory system. A siloed tech stack must be collapsed into a single, synchronized, unified shared memory data layer. Shared memory allows point-of-sale and CRM data to communicate in real time. This enables predictive stock ordering based on highly localized buying patterns. Real-time online to offline data synchronization is a strict financial requirement. It is the only defensive mechanism capable of protecting gross margin from catastrophic dead stock erosion. Next, we shift to variable costs, specifically targeting customer friction and support overhead. The traditional corporate response is to stitch together an isolated chatbot, a voice IVR, and an email triager, and inaccurately label the resulting mess omnichannel. The damage from this fragmented approach is highly quantifiable. A single context loss incident, where a customer is forced to repeat their issue across platforms, costs an average of $42 per ticket in escalation and churn. This architectural comparison shows the mandatory solution for true omnichannel operations. Older generation models break down when documents conflict. A reasoning-first model actively accesses a shared CRM memory pool to plan multi-step actions. A reasoning-first agent handles complex logic by leveraging the retrieval-augmented generation framework without hallucinating. It verifies outputs and refuses to guess when confidence is low. In practice, the reasoning agent reads a WhatsApp query, checks the back-end Lightning case, and writes the resolution directly to the unified CRM. By anchoring true omni-channel AI with shared memory, retailers eliminate context loss bleed. This drastically cuts variable costs and directly secures the contribution margin. We now move to the top-line variable of the master equation, revenue. This chart tracks the consumer purchasing network in APAC markets. It reveals a clear behavioral split. 60% of purchasing is driven by routine functional needs, but a massive 40% is now driven by emotional needs. To capture that 40%, brands must engage in shoppertainment. This relies on video-first, entertainment-driven conversion funnels native to social commerce platforms. To capture this trillion-dollar market, corporate leaders must stop treating marketing as an expendable variable cost. It must be funded as a strategic capital investment. However, these shoppertainment funnels will immediately collapse if they are not hardwired directly into the unified inventory system we established earlier. Emotional commerce scales revenue, but it only translates to profit if the resulting massive demand spikes are perfectly synchronized with back-end fulfillment. We can observe this architecture functioning in the real world. This is the interior of a Winmart supermarket, the physical, offline endpoint of a massive, unified retail ecosystem. Masan Group executed a strategic transition, evolving from a fast-moving consumer goods company into a fully integrated consumer retail technology platform. The financial validation of this architecture is clear. By implementing these data structures, Masan achieved positive profitability in their retail pillars and quadrupled their net profit after tax. Integrating brands, retail, and consumers into a single point-of-life data stack works at the enterprise scale. Masan's results prove that isolated channel expansion is destructive. Only a comprehensively re-engineered new commerce ecosystem generates sustainable profit in complex markets. The foundational profit equations merge directly with the tech architecture to form a unified ecosystem map. The shoppertainment funnel feeds a unified CRM, supported by a reasoning AI agent, driving iterative assortment, resulting in optimized profitability. Test and learn cannot be treated as a colloquial marketing phrase. It is a rigorous, unforgiving financial and data architecture requirement. By abandoning siloed global playbooks and engineering a unified shared memory ecosystem, enterprise retailers transition from merely surviving market entry to dictating scalable, long-term profitability.